The ANC Eastern Cape conference will get underway today. This is to elect the new provincial party leadership. Now, the conference was delayed by internal disputes and administrative issues. Oscar Mabuyane, who will be defending his position as provincial chairperson against Babalo Madikizela, joins me now. And he joins me from the Eastern Cape. Mr. Mabuyane, thank you very much for your time. Let me ask you this first question, and it has to do with the conference resolutions of the last conference. We're going to talk in a moment about what you think has been achieved there. But before we get there, with these delays that have characterized this conference, do you think that by Sunday, the people of the Eastern Cape will know who is going to lead the ANC?
Good morning, Koli, and good morning to your viewers. Thank you very much for having me here. Well, as you are indicating, this is the weekend that the new leadership must emerge from this conference. Yes, there have been some delays that, of course, were occasioned by a number of internal glitches, and we had to make sure that we attend to that. Since 2017, we committed ourselves and dedicated in building a strong organization in Eastern Cape, an organization that is more anchored on unity and renewal. And in that, we have been going all out to build cohesion among structures of the ANC. I can tell you we are taking back a stronger organization back to its rightful owners, the membership, with more than 670 branches in the Eastern Cape being in good standing. The issue of renewal is not just an issue or a lip service of leadership. It exists in our structures. A number of things that would have been reported were also reported by branches themselves. All these foreign tendencies, shenanigans, membership manipulations, etc., were reported by branches themselves. So you actually must credit branches for doing a good job. It's part of the renewal. When we introduced this new membership system, we were saying we're dealing with issues of gatekeeping, issues of membership manipulation, etc., etc., bulk buying of membership. So we've been dealing with those issues. This is the weekend. The conference tomorrow morning will be starting today. The registration is taking off. We are just waiting for a final verification from the Office of the Secretary General. We were in a meeting yesterday night with the national officials, with the SGO, to clear out all other outstanding issues we had around those. Yes, we had more than 50 disputes that now have been attended to. National Dispute Resolution Committee has resolved almost all those disputes that were brought before them. Provincial Dispute Resolution Committee have dealt with all disputes that were brought before them. So we are in a better shape, but what I'm saying, the organization, more than individuals, leadership who are contesting position, there is an organization here that is concentrating on the work of the ANC. We are building this ANC. We are ready for this conference. We are going to be ready for 2024. This is what this conference is all about, to defend the soul of the African National Congress.
Let me ask you this question, Mr. Mabuyane. A number of ANC members have been killed in the last few months and days. Can you say, without a shadow of doubt, that their deaths had nothing to do with the upcoming conference there?
From where we are seated, there's nothing that points towards the direction of the conference. What we believe in is that we must seek the truth from facts. We've given that space to police to investigate and make sure that they don't leave any stone unturned. And we believe that with the work that police should be doing, having spoken to the Minister of Police around these issues, we will be able to get to the bottom of these challenges. Yes, it's something that is really foreign, particularly here in our province, where you see some of these deaths, very kind of an assassination deaths, which we really condemn in the most strongest terms. And would also like to take the opportunity to extend our heartfelt, deepest condolences to the families. So from where we are, these are issues that could really be also influenced by other variables or other factors in the society. But so far, there is nothing that points to the issues or internal dynamics of the ANC. Branches of the ANC said, yes, there were some challenges, minor challenges, and in not more than 5 branches where you had these sort of skirmishes. So we have condemned those issues. Those issues cannot be part of a renewed ANC. ANC is renewing, and we are making it a point that all members of the ANC behave accordingly. All members of the ANC give ANC space to grow, and the ANC is what our people are actually looking forward to. As we meet as this conference, people of the Eastern Cape are looking at solutions of high unemployment, underdevelopment, inequalities that exist in our province. As I'm speaking to you, I'm here in Tanzania, Fort Jackson. We committed that we are opening up these factories. We are luring in investors, getting investors coming into our province, open these factories. So it's part of the work that we're doing. Whether there's a conference or not, we continue with government work because people of Eastern Cape don't have jobs. And we're opening these factories, getting investors into our shores to make sure that we change people's lives. That's what we committed ourselves in 2017 as per the resolution of our last conference. So we continue with that kind of work, and I can tell you we are ready for the conference. Our commissions have met. We have looked at policy issues. So we are ready with some solid policy proposal, as we'll be also preparing for the National Policy Conference as well as the National Conference in December.
Let me ask you then, because I'm glad you talk about issues that are being implemented by government, which in turn are going to benefit the community. So let's quickly assess your legacy and that of the Leadership Collective over the last 5 years. I'm talking about the conference resolutions. What is the one critical factor, Mr. Mabuyane, that you could say has been implemented by your leadership, which in turn has benefited the broader community of the Eastern Cape province?
In the province, we've been making this argument that we might be peripheral to the center, but we are the center of the periphery. There's been a lot of catalytic projects in our province that have been spoken about over the last 20 years or so. Where I'm seated now, I can tell you those catalytic projects, whether you talk about N2 highway with those 2 tallest bridges in Msikaba and Mtendu, you talk about the overall improvement of the N2 in our province, you talk about the Mzimvubu Dam that has been spoken about, and a couple of other projects. You talk about the oceans economy that we have never exploited as this province with all the 800 coastal stretch that we have. So we have put up all those niche areas. You talk about cannabis. These are issues that we have actually raised as a province to ensure that we are able to look at them in order to turn around the socio-economic outlook of our province. We've been focusing on the economic development. This province has got huge potential. It's got a huge potential on arable land. We should be number 1 in agriculture if you look at things from an objective point of view. Unfortunately, there's never been proper investment in this agriculture. That's why we talk about the Mzimvubu Dam, a dam that will be able to supply water to more than 700,000 people, but also give us a capacity for irrigations, etc. So these are key projects. We've been working on tourism development around the province. We are offering a lot in terms of really making it a point that we turn around the socio-economic outlook. We have done that. And I can tell you, we have been a leadership that enjoyed support across the socio-political spectrum in the province. Whether you look at it from a religious community, traditional leaders, the support we enjoyed, that has made us to be where we are with the voice that has really been penetrating through our society across. So it's a leadership that we did because of our unity that we demonstrated, because of our cohesion as leadership. Things that we have been saying in engaging national, in an engaging district. Yes, I can say without any shadow of a doubt that we're still limping on the local government. We are fixing that challenge of local government. We are relatively not doing good. That's a fact. But we are attending to such black spots to ensure that all our municipalities are focused, are concentrating in this kind of job, because we can do everything through the district development model as national and the province. If we are not anchored properly at a local government sphere, and if there is no really concentration on these kind of issues of development, if our municipalities are not stable, and if our municipalities are not creating conducive environment for investors to come and invest, we're surely going going not to move anywhere. But you need a strong ANC. You can be as good as whatever as a leader. If you don't have a united ANC, you will have challenges. So what we are saying, this conference must be able to take the work that we've done. We've tried our level best to take ANC from somewhere to put it where it is. The new leadership must be able to take ANC to a higher pedestal.
Let me ask you to keep your answers brief in the last few minutes. We don't have much time. You touched on the issue of water. The Gqeberha region is fast approaching day zero, Mr. Mabuyane, and I'm now talking to you as Premier of that province. What is being done to solve the water challenges in that region?
You would understand that Gqeberha has been in this disaster drought for years, more than 5 years now, not the new arrangement. Government has invested in improving the dam there that is supply Gqeberha as well as the Sarapatman areas. There in Sarapatman, that dam is almost in completion as we speak. The minister recently visited. We're improving that capacity so that we can be able to pump water elsewhere to supply that dam, to be able to supply people of Gqeberha. But also there is initiatives around the water desalination, which is being worked through between Nelson Mandela Bay municipality as well as Kucha as another alternative to look at how best we can make it a point that the area is sufficiently supplied with water.
All right. Let's quickly go back to the issue of renewal. The reason we called you here is as a result of the upcoming conference. Some of your critics within the party, Mr. Mabuyane, are saying that you have alienated capable comrades, and they're saying you've gone as far as to alienate some of the people who supported your candidacy in the last conference, which you have won. And this, they say, is rooted in what they claim to be your failure to rise above factional battles as a leader. Do you agree with that assessment?
That's perfectly untrue. If you look at the work that we've done, even those who were contesting each other in the last conference, almost all those key comrades are in the strategic deployment. No one has been left out. So as this collective, one thing that we made it sure, we knew where we are coming from, we know where we are, and we know where we are heading to. What we said we are not going to commit again is this issue of glorifying factions. This winner takes all. It cannot. ANC is bigger than a faction. So whoever gets elected, that person must rise to the occasion and lead every member in the province. It is the democratic right, also a constitutional right of every member in the ANC to contest election. You can't be punished on the basis that you were actually believing in a particular perspective in the leadership that must emerge. So there is no such, there is no truth to that. Facts are there. I can tell you the most critics we have, those people have been in the deployment. Even those who were on the other perspective in the last conference, those people are in the strategic deployment. That's a lie. It's something that exists in somebody's figment of imagination. Such people are just creating all these funny stories out of their own mind to justify things that are non-existing. People must simply use what is given to them by the Constitution, their rights and duties, and stop trying to create these fabrications because they are non-existing, they are not there. I can give you facts on that and say, this comrade was contesting against there, this comrade is in this position, that comrade, that they are almost all, whether it's the local government, is mayors, whether they are in the national parliament, whether they are in the provincial legislature, we have never used, we are only using the eye of a needle. When we look at issues of deployment, we are looking for comrades who are fit for the purpose to ensure that the work of the ANC is done. That's the reason why for the entire 4 years, we enjoyed this relative stability, and we have been focused, we have been united on renewal. That's why we're leading this issue of renewal, even at a national level. Yeah. And even in the NEC, we have been actually consistent, very clear. The NEC is where it is today because of our stance as the province, and we don't regret a moment. And by that, we're not purging anyone, but we're saying the time has come, and we have all said the Nazareth Conference, the 54th National Conference of the ANC, was a Damascus moment. ANC must renew, ANC must change. We'll continue to advocate for that.
Well, as a final question then, you're talking on national matters now. If you are re-elected as chairperson of the ANC in the Eastern Cape, along with the new leadership, what will be the Eastern Cape province's attitude towards the December conference of the ANC? A simple question to you. Should the mandate of the leadership that is in place now still be led by President Cyril Ramaphosa? Should he be returned as leader of the party, you think?
President Ramaphosa has led ANC very well under very difficult conditions. All of us in the different corners where we are, President Ramaphosa has distinguished himself from many other presidents of the ANC by committing himself as a leader of the ANC to make sure that the renewal of the ANC is finally realized. Remember, we've been talking about this renewal in a number of other previous national conferences. There hasn't been this zeal, this political will or commitment from the top to ensure that this issue is done. We had to tackle the issue of corruption, confront it, and make it a point that whoever is actually cited on anything, that person comes forward. We had to put in place your integrity commission so that comrades can explain themselves, those who are not indicted, etc., etc. That's part of us cleaning and renewing the ANC, because we are renewing this ANC for another 100 years, for generations to come. So President Ramaphosa has led this ANC under very difficult conditions with the collective that he leads the ANC with, and we can't regret his leadership. He has been actually instrumental, he has actually been outstanding in providing the leadership in the country. And during the COVID, I can tell you, South Africans is no longer just a leader of the ANC, is a leader that is appreciated by many in our country. So it's important that we don't cause this problem of instability. What this conference of Eastern Cape about is about the national conference, I can tell you. Hence the interest that you see here. What the national conference is about the national discourse. ANC has said we are going to relentlessly pursue the national democratic revolution. And we've put that one very clear. And we also understand the aims and objectives of the ANC. And in that, we have said ANC cannot coexist with all these foreign tendencies, or with all these malfeasance that we see. There's a time where we must draw the line and deal with those issues head on. So surely, this province, I can tell you, even if I would say something else, people of this province will call me and tell me that we have trust in President Ramaphosa, we believe in President Ramaphosa, he has led ANC, he has shown us the line, and there's no reason for any leader in the Eastern Cape to then begin to think otherwise. We are not opportunistic here, we're not supporting him, we're supporting a program that seeks to advance the democratic revolution. He is that leader that has demonstrated, that has lifted a finger to make sure that regardless all the mud that is being thrown at all of us, including him, this is not about us as individuals, it's about African National Congress, and ANC must survive. We must all understand that funeka sinciphe Xoli khona ukuze ANC ikhule.
Oscar Mabuyane, thank you very much for your time. I probably will be slapped on the wrist for not asking you about some people suggesting that, well, you have not been squeaky clean yourself. But perhaps because of time, let me leave that for another day. Oscar Mabuyane, let's leave it there. The chairperson of the ANC in the Eastern Cape and the premier of that province.